Today, Tigers head football coach Eli Drinkwitz had a gift for Mizzou fans, and I'm going to unveil it for you right now here on live TV. Let's take a look at what we got. It says, look behind you. Oh, yeah. Merry Flipmas, everyone. Some people are against the proposed changes, proposing that the ceremonies be held outside on football fields like this here at Battle High School, but CPS says it's just not possible at this time. That game got postponed to December, and Kentucky, they got moved up. The Tigers were slated to play the Battle Line rivalry this Saturday in Columbia against Arkansas, but due to positive COVID cases within the Razorback program, that's not happening anymore either. Actually, it turns out that instead, we're going to need these papers back. 3 stoplights are all that separate these two high schools, but they've never played a football game. Isn't that just crazy? The requirements are simple. If you don't want to wear this while breaking a sweat, you have to remain at least 6 feet apart from anyone else while exercising. When you look at this rivalry, Pete Atkins once said that they'll play anybody, anytime, anywhere. I think we know who they were talking about. Finally, tonight we get this matchup. Elias, Jeff City, for the first time.
I think it's a game that some people have been asking for. In Jeff City, there's always kind of been this unwritten code that, you know, Jeff City and Elias can play in every sport, but let's not play in football. The fear is that Jeff City is such a football-crazed town that, you know, this rivalry wouldn't be good. This year will be the first year in 64 years that we'll meet each other on the football field.
Nobody wants to lose their next-door neighbor.
With the community divided.
All in all, the support for all 3 programs in that city has been huge. This is us. And tonight, or Friday night, it's us and them finally getting together.
But this Friday begins a new chapter.
Heard from a lot of former Jays that they wish they would have got a chance to play in a Jeff City Elias game.
This red and this blue. Never mixed.
There's a little bit of that, there was a lot of that attitude.
Now with the championship on the line.
Pretty much every week you're playing for a championship.
And a community getting the matchup it deserves.
I think, you know, everyone from both communities, I think they're really excited about watching this game Friday night.
When a group comes together, great things happen, and that's what this group really is. This team's culture, this team's everything is the best I've been in the 3 years I've been here. That culture can sometimes shift to other parts of life.
We've never felt alone. Never ever felt like we're in this alone, you know, and that's huge.
Lane West is a 3-sport athlete at Boonville. His brother Cale was diagnosed with leukemia last year.
I was really sad for the first week or two. I really just, as soon as it hits, everything just hurts a lot more as soon as it happens, but as it progresses, you still think about it a lot.
They didn't know what to expect. You hear that a family member has cancer and it automatically goes to the worst scenario.
But having the Boonville community stand together is what made the difference.
We don't walk through the gate at a football game when somebody doesn't ask us how Cale is, or if they see him, give him a big smile and a fist bump, you know.
They're a family that extends to Coach Huff.
I remember him texting me and saying, I'll take care of the big guy, you take care of the little one.
10 years from now, I'll still have a relationship with, 20 years from now. So again, you talk about the importance of Friday nights, just us being together to build those relationships is even more important than the scoreboard, the lights, or anything like that.
Coming together to let everyone know that there's light at the end of the tunnel.
Things will get better, and to not worry, just trust the people who tell you everything's going to be okay and listen to them.
Grocery store chain says it won't make its employees enforce the city's ordinance, despite other large chains requiring it. KOMU-8's Parker Rehm talked to Hy-Vee to figure out why. Starting Monday, Hy-Vee is beginning something it calls Mask It Up to shut down COVID. It will provide 3 million masks and more than 250 stores to customers before they begin shopping. However, Hy-Vee is not requiring masks upon entering the store. despite other large chains making the rule.
We've seen what's happened on the news at other retail locations, employees getting in fights and scuffles with various people because they're asking personal questions, and that's not something we want to put our employees in harm's way.
Customers across the Midwest voiced their concerns about the policy on Facebook. Pothoff says there should be no question where Hy-Vee stands on the mask issue.
So people have said, I'm pro-mask, I'm anti-mask, and really we want people to understand when they walk into our stores, we want them to wear a mask too. And so it's not a matter of if we're pro or anti, we're definitely pro-mask.
One Columbia shopper says it's out of her hands.
As long as I'm wearing one, if they don't want to protect themselves and others, it's their problem, not mine.
Baker says she thinks it's hard to make masks a requirement, but she hopes that people wear the masks provided. Parker Rehm, KOMU-8 News.
KOMU-8's Parker Rehm shows us why some students are concerned about signing too early.
The 2020 school year is fast approaching, and some students are worried about committing to a lease. The unpredictability of the COVID-19 pandemic is causing some concern among MU students.
Well, I guess my major concern is still that we're not really even going to end up going back to class, which I think is still a high possibility.
Higgins says he and his roommate recently signed a lease for 6 months close to campus, but if classes happen online, it could cost them more money than living further away.
We waited as long as we could for the university to decide on what they were going to do in terms of coming back to influence our decision, I guess. Still, with all this going on, we don't want to be stuck in a full year lease if we end up, not going to class second semester or whatever it might be.
The impact is not only felt by students, but by property owners as well. Renters account for over 50% of all Columbia residents. One local property owner says this year is different than the rest.
In previous years, people would sign leases even before Christmas break. This year, it's just compacted our leasing period to a very short period rather than spreading it out.
Hinshaw says people are reluctant to sign, and there's still no way of telling if MU is going to change their stance during the school year. Parker Rehm, KOMU-8 News, Columbia.